Howdy and welcome to Three Things Thursday, the weekly newsletter where we talk about 3 things that'll help you grow your company, but in like a fun way.
Quick 3-mile run.
In a world where professional grade film equipment is so affordable, you can't separate yourself from the crowd with just having better production value. That's a thing of the past. Now you have to be more creative and more clever to create original content that speaks for itself. And although creativity is, for the most part, a fairly natural-born gift, there actually are a few things, 3 things to be exact. The first thing you want to do is consume the kind of content that you want to create. Visual storytelling is a language, and just like any other language, the more that you're around people speaking it, the more natural it's going to come to you. So if you want to start producing a certain kind of video, start watching videos like that. And the more you watch it, the more natural it will come to you. And all of a sudden it's not quite so forced. And when you set up a camera, you're gonna set it up the same way that those creators set up their cameras. I know that sounds kind of BS, but I promise you it really does help you speak the language. And even if it doesn't, at least you're watching good movies. Number 2, work in the same boring place every day. In the same way that blind people have that crazy superhuman hearing, the same is true for creativity. So to jumpstart our brain, what we can do is just cut out the stimuli from the outside world. The whole idea of going to a really beautiful place to get inspired and become more creative, that's BS. If I'm in a beautiful place, I'm paying attention to the beautiful stuff there. The reason that people actually get creative ideas out there is because usually if you're in nature or something, you're away from your phone, which is the most common distraction that's really like keeping our brain asleep all day. But if you really want to dive deep into that head of yours, shut off the phone, sit in a boring room and stare at the wall, that same boring wall that you're used to looking at every single day. That's where the magic happens. And number 3, travel by foot. What do I mean by that? The saying comes from, instead of driving somewhere, walk there. And when you walk, you're gonna notice all the interesting little things on the sidewalk and the people you walk by and the places you see. Whereas when you're driving, you typically go into autopilot and you're just kind of getting the Spark Notes version of the world. But this can be applied not just to literally traveling from point A to B, but everything you do in life. Take the slower, more hands-on route and get a real first-hand experience of the world. Because this is where you get your material. Creativity isn't really about coming up with new stuff. It's about taking the stuff that we experience in our everyday world, putting ourselves in an environment to facilitate that creative energy, and then just piecing things together in a way that's fun and more interesting than what happens in the real world. And this may seem like film nerd stuff. I get that you're probably not too concerned with creating the most interesting, cinematic, creative, clever content out there. But this is the secret to getting your target audience to actually seek you out as opposed to the other way around. Give them cool, interesting stuff and they'll keep coming back. It's kind of the cheat code to growth. You master this, you master everything in life. Not really, but you will have better marketing tactics. Well, I hope you enjoy those creative little ideas floating around in your head, but more importantly, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week.